I didn't have edges, I would have none left because you snatched them. I had no idea this video was going to be the video that sent everyone into a tailspin. The way y'all came for me is insane. I think that the message of the video got a little lost. I gave maybe 20 minutes of a 3-day weekend of a 30-year friendship, and you all came for me. These are just a few of the comments. You act like this because you have money. This was a surface friendship. You're a narcissist. You can't keep a man or friends, which segued into you're male-centered. You're self-centered. You abandoned her. Why would you think she was jealous of you? You let your friend infringe on the trip. You took her to Miami to party? You have no empathy. You are frustrating. You couldn't buy your own umbrella? You're annoying. You lack self-awareness. She was going through something and you weren't there for her. Maybe it was all your talk of money. You're a bragger. What kind of woman begs someone to use their lounge chair? And I think the one that I got the most was, is she dead? Whew. This happened 4 years ago. You all have people that were in your lives that are not in your lives anymore that you don't speak to. You see them on Facebook, you see them on social media, you know that they're alive. If this woman was not alive, I would absolutely not have put a video out like this. She is very much alive. She's very much fine. She's very much doing well. My delivery wasn't well, apparently, that people were misunderstanding what I was trying to say or intentionally trying to misunderstand what I had to say, because the message was supposed to be that I just felt the loss because seeing my daughter. I'm not going to bother this lady. This lady is not going to bother me. People commenting that it was a surface friendship. Absolutely not. We knew each other since we were children, and grew up together and clearly grew apart. So if someone I met yesterday, you could say, I'll give you that. I'm not going to give you surface for this because we knew each other for years. I do believe that one of the parts of the relationship that kept the longevity was the distance. I live in New York, she lives in Atlanta. And we were not FaceTimers and stuff like that. We talked on the phone all the time, at some points daily. And when you talk to someone on the phone, you can't see their affect, you can't see their gestures. Someone said I'm annoying. Probably I am. I'm sure I am. Can I be exhausting? I'm sure I am. But 30 years of friendship, there's going to be exhausting moments. There's going to be, I have 3 children. She has 2 children. You know, her partner was sick. There's exhausting moments. There's jobs lost. There's job moves. There's exhausting moments. But that's what a friendship is supposed to be, I thought. But me choosing not to give every instance of every event that we had in our lives, I guess, painted me in a very ugly picture to people. And that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. What you're not going to do over here is you're going to personally attack me when you don't know me, because now I'm going to block you. And I know when you put yourself out on social media, it gives people the opportunity to say things and think things and want to think things. One of the things is that if you just tuned into that video only and you see this backdrop and you saw me with, and I didn't say anything about it. Somebody said it, and that's the only reason I'm bringing up, and saw me in my Tom Brown sweater, you might have a different perception of me. And I'm telling you, you don't know me. And that's okay, you don't know me. When I made my video about my teeth, I talked about going to dental clinics. I've lived in the shelter. I have a GED. I got it out the mud, and everything that I've done, I've earned. So when somebody is like, oh, you're bragging about money. And then the other side of it is, so a woman at a big age is excited to get a credit card, or you're begging for a lawn chair. I didn't beg. Okay, I didn't beg for the lawn chair. What happened was, so clearly I have to break some things down. And the reason why I'm saying that she doesn't like me. And one of the other things, I never, ever, ever, never said she's jealous. I do not believe she's jealous. To this day, I don't think she's jealous. Someone can grow up and apart. She just doesn't like me. And I'm going to tell you how I know that she doesn't like me. One of the best comments on here was that she doesn't like how other people treat you, or she didn't like how people are with you. And I can get that. I can understand that. And I think people wanted this to be a me versus her. It wasn't a me versus her. I was trying to give context. And again, I'm a little bit newer to YouTube. I've had a channel for, but I've been newer to the long forms. So I've been trained on Instagram where hurry up. So on YouTube, I was not under the impression that people want to sit and listen forever. Well, clearly they won't, because I had people saying they got off treadmills, they had to turn it off. I'm exhausting, I'm annoying, this was too much, they couldn't understand. They didn't know what the intent was. I told you what the intent was in the beginning of the video. It was because seeing my daughter with her friends for her bachelorette was lovely. And I was like, oh, it's, I have that with my Lisa, the longevity, and I have that with Tanja, the new, but having the whole bunch of them. But I had my daughter at 19. I was not out at the clubs or on a college campus making friends. I was at a job. So I do not have a lot of friends, and I'm okay with quality over quantity. Do you? But for you to end, I don't use the word friend lightly. I have a lot of acquaintances, a lot of lovely people in my life. Everyone is not a friend. Everyone has not. I wouldn't get on a plane and go to a hotel and sleep next to them in a bed. That's because there's levels. So, and somebody to say I can't keep a man or friends. I would like reiterate that Eddie passed away. He didn't leave me. Okay. So a little bit more of a breakdown, because both my friends my two were in a tizzy. One was crying and one wanted to fight. And you're probably confused as to which is which. But they were. And I found myself responding from the Brooklyn part of me, from the gully part of me, from the person saying that when I used the word nigga, at one point I was looking for street cred. We're going to break down some things from point A to B. One was that I let people infringe on our trip. She knew my friend was letting us use his Airbnb, and she knew he was picking us up. We went to lunch. He took us, which I didn't say, to get some wine that he purchased for her, and for us to go to the grocery store to get some water and stuff for the Airbnb. Got to the Airbnb. I joked, I'm gonna complain about the host when he took his laptop out, because I didn't want him to infringe, and sent him on his way. That was a grand total of 2 hours, day one. Never saw him again until he picked us up the last day. I'm not sure where people were infringing, but that was the extent. I had no control of the young lady on the beach. I don't know her. I never saw her again in life. I had no control. So the entire trip, it was just the two of us. I spoke to Eddie once or twice on the phone, spoke to my children. She spoke to her children and her grandchildren. We were together the whole time. I didn't tell you that we got up and went to breakfast one morning, and we sat there for hours crying and talking about her loss and how devastated she was, and how we walked around, and how we, joked and reminisced about people from back in the day. She put her bathing suit on. I put mine on. We went up to the pool. I took pictures of her, beautiful pictures of her. We went by a yacht. I took pictures of her. We had dinner. It was great. The umbrella issue is what's sending people, and I think that was my delivery, and I take 100% onus in that. She didn't have to buy me anything. She doesn't owe me to buy me anything. I invited her on this trip. I was trying to give you all a visual of her feeling, her expression, and how she was, which is why I'm saying she didn't like me. Not that she should have bought me an umbrella. And I'm just trying to clear things up. I just wanted to give some clarity because, like I said, my friend Tanja and Lisa were incensed because it hurt their feelings because they know me. I'm tougher. I'm going to respond like I'm going to respond. And when somebody called me a narcissist, and I explained to them that clearly, since I worked in mental health for 23 years, you don't know what a narcissist is. Furthest thing. What I'm saying about the umbrella is this. When we were standing online, she's in front of me. She picks up an umbrella and she does this. You might want to buy it. Like, she doesn't even turn and look at me. Not like, hey, girl, you want me to get you this umbrella? Something like that. She didn't have to buy it. I was trying to give you a visual of how her demeanor changed as the weekend progressed. And to mind you, this umbrella incident, we hadn't seen the infringed friend or the girl on the beach. It's just the two of us. It's just the two of us. And we are talking about what's going to happen in life, what we're doing, how she's feeling, what's going on with her, all of the things. And she said something that resonated with me to this day, especially after Eddie passing. She said, I will never be this. She said to me in one of the restaurants we were in, she sat across from me and she said, after losing him, I will never be the same. And I understood, but I understand now more. We cried and that's my girl. And then when we leave and he picks us up, she knows he's picking us up. If she doesn't want him to pick us up, she 100% can say something. But when somebody's saying that I let him infringe, and this is the same person that was like, I thought he was staying. I'm like, girl, he ain't staying. That's my man. That's my friend. I think that's when someone commented, she doesn't like how people are around you. I can be a friend to a male without that. And he was generous to us. He picked us up and he took us and he bought the drinks and he let us use his Airbnb and all those things without, like no robbery, fair exchange. And that could have bothered her. I don't know. And I don't know. The biggest question of all, is she dead? Was crazy. Y'all know that lady ain't dead. Come on now. Y'all know that lady. You know the lady's not dead. And the reason that we know the lady's not dead is, again, everybody glossed over the fact that I text her several times. I asked her for lunch. She declined. She texts me that she met a gentleman. I text her back and was like, okay, girl, I see you. I get home, text her. She read it, which I should have said, and didn't respond. And then proceeded to put the pictures up on Facebook that I took of her on the beach. And again, like I may have said in the beginning, if there's somebody you haven't seen in years, you might not never talk to them again, but Facebook said today's their birthday. Facebook said, oh, so-and-so just put a post up. You know that lady not dead. Y'all know that lady not dead. Y'all just want to comfort me that I abandoned her. Y'all know I abandoned that lady. So, and I'm going to take the onus. Am I annoying? Probably. Am I exhausting? Could be. Am I, do I lack self awareness? Absolutely not. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I took her to Miami to party. We in our 50s, we didn't party. You can party in your 50s. We did not party. I didn't bring her to my house because I have Nicholas, I have whatever. I didn't go to her place in Atlanta because she has her sons and she has grandchildren. We just picked a quick place that we could meet together, and I knew we had free accommodations. Goes back to the fact that I'm showing off my money. Child, I have 3 children and a wedding and a kid in college. What do you? So clearly it's me. I'm the problem. But the fact that none of y'all were like, she didn't even call you when Eddie died. Okay, if she did not like me when Eddie died, that was your end. You didn't even text me. She didn't text me. But again, she doesn't have to. I mean, this took me out. This really took me out, this video, because I wasn't prepared for the responses. People's opinions of me is okay. You can, say what you want to say about me because you're meeting me here. And so you don't know me from anywhere else. And so when I think what hurt me the most is that the people's quick judgment about it, and comments were like, she wanted to spend time with Selena sincerely, not Selena. She only knows Selena. She don't know Selena sincerely. That's what she knows. So again, like the money aspect of it, we did for each other. We did for each other. She was a good friend. She was a good friend when you go over it quickly. But when this put a spotlight on it, and I had to go back and I had to take notes. And again, this is not to bash her, because perception is everything and everyone remembers things differently. And we went way back, and I'm talking about, I remember one time we were out in New York City in a different area, and we went to a club or whatever, and anyone who knows me in real life knows we go together, we leave together. And 2:00 in the morning, I'm standing outside in the dark and I'm looking for her, and she has left me. And I'm just like out in the dark by myself. And when I finally make it home, she's like, "Oh, I thought you left already." Or she would, I went to visit her out in Atlanta. And my first time on a plane, and again, people wanted to come for me on that video about how I was excited about a credit card. I've talked about how I was in extreme debt, that I had messed up my credit. And so to get back on track, I was proud of myself. And she knew that, and we some of us have been there. I mean, I know some of y'all have different lives, but so people like, maybe she didn't want to talk about money. If you thought we were going to be a whole 3 days in widow shrouds just moaning, I didn't bring her there to do that, because, and this was the anniversary of it, the 2nd year anniversary of it. Please don't act like anything was lost on me. So when people say things like it's surface, it's shocking to me. We lived together at one point. I had my little daughter. She had her little son. We lived together. We been in the trenches. And so, again, I say, as time progressed, she would come back to town to visit and ask if her son could stay at my house, and I babysit him while she went out. I wasn't invited. But when someone that we know was having like a Halloween party, and I was like, let's go if you're coming to town. And I took days, every day I'd get off work and I made myself a costume. I wanted to be a swan. ended up looking like a duck, but she was cute. And she came to town. She looked beautiful. And, I was happy for her to be there. That was my friend. And I think it's like, people grow up in a part and stuff, and you didn't call her and you didn't call her. When I sent that text and she read it and didn't respond to me, what am I supposed to say? I'm not going to beg anybody to be my friend or be my life. And she is allowed to go. Does she owe me an exit interview? No. 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 But I said it and I meant it about women and men and women dynamics. And women and men is, we'll give men chances. We'll listen to their dissertations. We'll voice note them to death. We'll type out a long, 7 years ago or a 4-page letter. And for women, it's, and y'all have no problem with bashing me and blaming me and telling me that based on those 30 minutes and 31 seconds, I think that they can understand and I'm all of these things. And that's okay. And that's okay. And I mean, actually for a minute, it wasn't okay because Tanja and I were in New Orleans when I put it up, went to New Orleans, feeling good. We're on a rooftop having a little cocktail, and my friend opens YouTube, and she is losing it because y'all are vicious. And I'm like, just calm down. And she's so upset, and she's like, I can't even look at these anymore. So upset. My friend Lisa, from her top secret government job, is like, I'm about to lose my mind. She's the one with the hoodie in the trunk that you should be worried about, and y'all don't even know. So I think that for me, it changed my perspective on YouTube. It changed, maybe how I will interact because I was not ready to be treated so poorly when I was sharing something. And for the YouTube will tell you, it'll give you a percentage breakdown, and it'll say something like for 86% were favorable and kind, and Chat GPT will be like, just don't engage. I have an acquaintance. He did a beautiful portrait of me that I have, gorgeous, and I haven't talked to him in several years. And he texted me and said, I see you're on YouTube. You're doing so good. Good for you. Telling me some tips and tricks. And then he circled back and was like, I saw your video. Don't let him tilt your crown, basically. And I almost let it. When I tell you I'm not going to hold you, y'all had me. I was like, psh, 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 psh. I felt like Clarissa Shields was whooping me. I just want to say a little kindness goes a long way. And by all means, a difference of opinion is fine. But to call someone everything but a child of God based on a 30-minute video, not on this channel. And when I tell you, it shook me. I contacted some of my cohorts on here that have been in these trenches, and I was like, hold up. You had me for a minute. I was in my feelings. My pressure was up. I held my children back because the way, baby, they do like to tussle. Because again, you're letting this little visual fool you from who I am. I'm not looking for street cred. I'm just giving you the facts, ma'am. But it's okay to be kind, and it's okay to be like, no. And somebody said, no, I didn't see it that way. I saw it like maybe because your friend came around and she was missing male companionship, maybe she was a little jealous of that. I said, you know what? I didn't see it that way. Maybe this wasn't the place that she wanted to go. Maybe I didn't see it that way. But you know you're allowed to say no. So I think the perception that I held this woman hostage and that the whole time I was on the beach, that I was walking through Miami with shades and like, hello, I'm here, darling, and trailing my robe behind me and dropping cash. Y'all know you. Y'all know that's not true. You know it's not true. You know it's not true. I could barely get through this without a tear because even her talking about the loss of her, me relaying her talking about the loss choked me up. That I have no empathy, that I lack self-awareness, that I'm self-centered. I'm the firstborn daughter with 3 children. Every breath I take is for someone else. Every thing that I do, every way I motivate, every way I move, every way I show up is for my children and my friends. So to say self-centered, I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to take narcissist. I'm not going to take lack self-awareness. I'm not going to take those things. So I had to let the things roll off of me and really get my bearings because y'all took me out. You really did take. And I think I just want to leave it with this thought that I said previously that I think that I'm almost positive that the distance geographically allowed for this longevity because again we didn't physically see each other very often at all. Being in each other's presence gave us clarity, and confused by saying that we're a little bit confused that I was saying that I wanted her, that she owed me something. She didn't owe me an umbrella. She don't owe me an explanation. She didn't owe me a meal. She didn't owe me a Lyft ride. She doesn't owe me anything. I would have hoped that 30 years would have warranted a little inscribed pen like I was retiring. Like even and that's the beauty of technology that we have. A response to the text would have been great. Even if the response to the text was, I'm just making up things. So don't say that she owes me a thank you. Don't, please, I can't. My pressure and my edges. If she would have said thank you for the trip, I just really don't know if this friendship is going to last. Am I wrong? Probably. Could I done things differently? Most definitely. Does she owe me anything? Nope. Did I hope that she would say something? She didn't. And for anyone that says, no, it's not true that she wasn't your friend, or she's whatever she is or she isn't, or whatever the case may be, the door to get back, if that wasn't what it was about, was Eddie's death. Because that would have been the perfect segue for her to come back into my life if she cared to. And people saying, oh, you abandoned her. You don't force somebody to be where they don't want to be. I didn't abandon her. Read my message and didn't reply and posted those pictures on Facebook and didn't even say had a nice weekend with Selena. So it's not, she just doesn't like me. And that can be true. That can be true. And I just want to say that y'all took me down. Y'all took me down for a minute. It hurt. It hurt. to read the comments, because there's some parts that I chose not to disclose, protecting her and protecting myself. Y'all need to know all the business. When I say trenches, okay? And so for that to be the perception of me was a little bit hard to take. But if Eddie dying didn't kill me, this ain't gonna kill me. I mean, it tried to. Every day it still be trying a little bit. But at the end of it, I just want you all to consider the person that you are leaving the comment to is an actual real person. Because I'm an actual real person. I think you don't know that. And I talked to my children and I was like, they took me down. Yeah, it took me out. And I was like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. I'm too old. I'm just, ugh. And our first flights were canceled on Tuesday, and there's always a reason. So we were supposed to come back Tuesday from New Orleans, and our flights were canceled. We woke up to the flights being canceled, and I don't know, I'm upset because I think that when people get a perception of you and they don't know you, I think that hurts, because you think you're hoping you're portraying yourself in a way that people do know who you are. And so we're in this hotel room, and I'm so grateful, and I posted on my Instagram that I was so grateful that we didn't have to, that we could stay in the hotel room another night. Do you understand what I'm saying? That we could afford that we could, we had our little Delta flights, and they would put us over, they put us to the next day, or that we could still eat. Because I tell a story that I went somewhere that I shouldn't have went for someone that I shouldn't have went for years ago. And I went with no money. And I was in a hotel room eating a bag of chips and drinking a can of soda, because that's all I had the money for. And I had my plane ticket to go home. So when people think they know you and they don't know you, it's your automatic defense mechanism is to defend yourself. And so I was just tired. I was like, I just got in these YouTube streets. They about to send me back out. And I get on the plane, and yesterday, finally, leg 2, because we had to fly. She and I both flew from New Orleans to Atlanta, and then we were separating. Tanja and I were separating to go to our respective homes. So I left her in the lounge, and yes, I'm not bragging about the lounge. I'm grateful that I can use a lounge, because I learned about credit cards at this big age, and I'm not ashamed about that. So when someone's like, it's never too late. So I got my friend in the lounge, comfortable, seated up. She's having a little New Orleans hard-boiled egg. And I'm like, okay, friend, I got to go. Hug, I love you. Get on the plane. I get on the plane. And I sit down, and I feel a little. And I'm thinking that the person is getting adjusted. And then I feel a little again, and I'm like, and I turn, and it's a young lady. And she says to me, "You don't know me." You don't know me, but I just lost my dad. And your videos about Eddie help me. Keep what you're doing. And she said, have a safe flight. And I said, you two, we together. And so that's why. So that's why I came back and decided to make this video, because maybe a little kindness, not just to me, to anybody on here that's exposing themselves, being vulnerable, talking to you, sharing things, or talking about life, and because it goes a long way. It goes a long way. The fact that you watch and take the time to even watch and listen to what I'm talking about, I appreciate that, because there's so many other people you could be looking at and doing and paying attention to. And I really do appreciate it. But I'm not telling you got to sit in the back and be quiet. But I'm telling you, be easy. Be easy. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Again, a difference of opinion is fine. But calling me all kinds of anything but Selena is not necessary. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. My friend, like I said, he said I'm supposed to say, I'm getting it. Hold on. He said, you make sure that you tell the viewers to like, comment, and share your video, and to click on the notification so they'll be alerted when you post new content. And I said, okay, I will add that. I'm telling you, somebody that I haven't spoken to in forever was kind enough to send me a kind message. Thank you guys so much. I was going to do, like, I had this whole thing planned out. I was going to do, I was enjoying what I'm whining about lately, and you guys took me through the ringer. So we're going to try to get ourselves back on track. I thank you guys so much. We'll be back.